Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Postman Fights Back, a Hong Kong action flick from 1982 that was directed by Ronny Yu, the man who would go on to direct The Bride with White Hair and Saving General Yang, among others. Now the following plot synopsis was paraphrased from the Love HK Film website. Although the box art for The Postman Fights Back would have you believe that Chow Yun-Fat is the star of the movie, the truth of the matter is that he is neither the star nor the fighting postman of the title. That distinction falls upon actor Lung Ka-yan, who takes on the lead role of Ma, a courier who faithfully delivers the mail throughout rural China. Things seem to be going well with the whole postman gig, but after being told that the town can no longer afford his services, Ma's luck begins to run out. But instead of going postal on the community in retaliation, nice guy Ma looks for another job that best suits his talents, and soon enough he finds himself embroiled in a covert operation for far greater magnitude than he could possibly imagine. A shadowy character known only as Hu, played by Eddy Ko Hung, makes overtures to find someone willing to transport a few important packages across the country. To take care of the job, a makeshift team is assembled, which includes our main character Ma, plus a petty thief, an explosive specialist, and a con man by the name of Fu Jun, who is played by Chow Yun-Fat. Although the title seems focused on one character, the film plays out much like an ensemble piece. So The Postman Fights Back is one of those Hong Kong actioners I just never got around to seeing. I heard of it a few times, but this is a first-time viewing for me. One of the first things I noticed was that the fighting is sparse for quite a while in this. So you got to be a little bit patient if you're looking for an action flick. Much of the opening half involves introductions to our characters and them kind of coming together as a team or unit. It's fine, nothing great. Things do get more interesting and engaging when the villain is revealed and really starts acting. And the bad guy in this is vicious and merciless, definitely evil enough to root against and kind of get a little bit of an emotional response from you. He adds a little bit of spice, which I think was needed here. There are some bloody death scenes also, which also add some spice to things. So even though the story itself is just kind of okay, the villain, I think, elevates it, picks it up a notch. Now, Chow Yun-Fat does have a supporting role, but he does get a pretty good amount of screen time in this. I think you'll be satisfied with the amount of screen time that he gets. He's very young in this movie. I'm trying to think, this could be the earliest role I've ever seen from him. I forgot to check his filmography, but it's pretty close. I mean, this is what, 1982? That's very early in his career. So if you want to see Chow in like a really young, early role, this is one for you. It's pretty neat. As an added bonus, there are some nice natural environments at times, including some chilly weather. So let's get to the action now, okay, because this might be why people are watching this, all right? There are a small handful of scuffles during the opening half of the film, all of which are competently executed, but so short, they're not memorable, you know? We're talking like mere seconds of screen time for each of these fights early on. And for a while, I started to question the genre description of the film. I'm like, is this really an action movie? Or is it just like a drama with some action thrown in? But thankfully, things kind of pick up later on. There's a marginally lengthy set piece near the midpoint where some masked dudes with spears attack. Pretty good fight, but again, it's quite short. The first legitimately good scene that you'll remember after you watch this, and you'll remember it for a while, is when Chow Yun-Fat goes up against these two martial arts guys that attack him at the same time. And one dude is like bigger and one dude is smaller. And the small dude basically climbs on top of the big dude's back and he gets in like some sneaky punches and kicks while Chow is fighting with like the big guy. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool little scene, some good choreography in there. I enjoyed that one. Another good fight takes place on an iced over lake. And that adds some variety. I like the setting of it. And there's some cool little moves that take place in that as well. And then we get the final act, which has a handful of good fights. It has most of the best stuff there. And it finishes pretty strong. There are some surprising moments in it as well I was not expecting. I would say don't go into this like reading much about it. Chow has some sweet moves with his scarf. He uses his scarf a lot in this. You know, the weather's a little chilly. He's trying to keep warm, but he'll whip that scarf off and, like, you know, use it as like a defensive like weapon or defensive item and attack guys with it. It's pretty interesting, I guess, item to be using in a fight. There's a 2-part finale. There's like a sufficient explosive shootout, and then a one-on-one duel to the death in a forest, where you get some ninja-like tactics thrown in. So there's actually some pretty good variety in the fighting in this. It just takes a while to get going. I would say The Postman Fights Back is a good flick. It's worth watching for the super evil villain and some good fighting during the second half. I do recommend this. Just don't expect like a classic or something like fantastic. Okay. Easiest to find on Blu-ray. The recent release from 88 Films has both an A and B region code, so it's compatible with both types of players there. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.